What's up and welcome back to Mandy Luda and Kev. Now before I get into this video, I'm just going to do a little bit of admin. Please make sure that you subscribe to the channel and click the like button if you like this video. I got my nails on, so as you can see, I'm going to be doing a lot of this, but y'all, you're not going to see me. But anyway, as you can see by the title below, this is the second episode of my finance series, and today we are going to be focusing specifically on budgeting. I promise you this is the last video or any type of, tips type of, thingy, my bob, that you're going to watch with regards to budgeting, because I'm gonna get you straight after this, okay? So also please make sure that you share this to every single person that you feel like, this may be very helpful to them, okay? All right, let me get straight into the video. So today's video is going to be a bit different. You're not going to see me, but I want you guys to actually see how I budget and everything and what works for me and what has helped me tremendously. Now, I prefer to do my budgets on a spreadsheet, and I know most people as well do that, because for me, it's way simpler to list every single thing that I have going on with my finances, as well as calculation wise. You cannot go wrong with an Excel spreadsheet. Trust me, sometimes when you calculate stuff manually, like you miss a number or like you switch the numbers up, and then you just come out to incorrect answers and everything. So I recommend doing everything in a spreadsheet. Okay, so firstly, the one thing that I like to do a lot when I budget is I like to go into extreme detail. Some may think it's a bit too much and it's unnecessary, but it really helps a lot in cases of where you need to specifically see where you can cut down and save on a lot of money. So I include even like things like getting my hair done, getting my nails done, and going out for like your big lunches, like, you're going out lunches to like, party or like a good ass time, those type of things. I do include them in my budget because I can actually see if I'm overspending that month or not. So this is pretty much simple, basic, to the point. On the left hand side, I've included, money that you receive that you can spend monthly, whether it be a salary from an employee, could be commission based as well, or an allowance, if you get some sort of allowance to spend monthly, if you're a student, or you just get it from your bursary, or whatever the case may be, included in there. And if for that specific month you're also expecting to receive some form of like payment from something in a specific month, I also advise that you please include it there, so that you know whether you can actually spend that money or look into like saving it or investing it. And then on the right hand side, of course, I've tried to include the biggest expenses that I think, us 20 somethings have monthly. And this is again not altered specifically for me, but I just included, things that I think that, most people are spending on monthly, their expenses, as well as this can be a shorter list for you or an even longer list for you, but for me in this specific like part of my budget, I include my direct livelihood expenses, if that makes sense. Things that I literally need every single month to survive. Like obviously, I have to pay rent. We have to pay like water and electricity. I have to like pay my phone contract. I have to like, have money for transport and all of those things. So it's literally like highest, necessity expenses that I put in this specific segment. And then, that's simple. You just add up your income, deduct all your expenses, and then hopefully by the end of the month, you have a difference, and in that difference you have more money left over. If it's a case that your expenses are way more than your salary or your income of some sort, you need to do a lot of cutting down, like tremendous cutting down, because again, what we're trying to do is limit overspending. And also it would be very nice to like not live from paycheck to paycheck, because we're trying to survive and we're trying to do better. So this is like the first step where you can see where you can cut down and where you can, save more and have excess money left over in the month. Next up, we have something that I like to call the assets. Now, some of you may want to include this in your like direct, simple step monthly budget, but I always like to, keep it separate because in most cases, you don't have enough money left over to save or to invest. And in some cases, your life cover, some people don't have it at all. And, sometimes your employer also provides for you or pays it on your behalf actually and takes it from your salary. Same goes with retirement funds or pension funds. So these are specifically separate for this specific video because, not everyone actually has this implemented in their budget as yet, or own any of these things, or look into or do any of these things. So that's why it's separate, and also why I like to keep it separate as well. So the first two things on the left hand side, your savings and your investments, like I said in the first video, I really refer to these as your luxuries because, you know what, at the end of the day, if your monthly budget, if you have more expenses than what money you have to spend per month, you can't even save or invest. So it wouldn't make sense to directly start and put your savings directly in your budget. It would be great, but you actually need to have money left over in order for you to do your savings or your investments. So obviously there would be like a normal debit order or a premium per month. And you just put that there to see that this is what it could potentially be, or this is what it is for some of you. And yeah, it's also again very good to see these type of things and see the numbers in front of you, because it also gives you a sense of certainty and surety that, okay, this is what's happening with my money. And then moving on to your life cover or your retirement funds, if you do not currently have any, I suggest you start looking into it, and I will go into detail in a future video. But for now, most case scenario, not all the time, but most case scenario, you would have to probably fund this yourself, or if you are employed, some cases your employer pays half for you, and then you also like contribute half of it, So, it's different with everyone. Like I said, finances should be a personalized thing, it should make sense to your life, and it should always speak to you specifically, not what you see like the next person is doing, or what they have in their lives, but specifically only for you. Last but not least, we have your long-term liabilities, or what I like to call peak adulthood. That's the wind in the background, if you can hear that. But yeah, so right here, of course, I tried listing most of the things that I feel, as 20-somethings are still paying off, and we're still trying to, be cleared from that debt and be like free from it, free us. So the reason why I also add this specific segment in the budget is because, sometimes when it's the end of the month and you have a little bit of money left, and it's maybe 2-3 days away from payday again, instead of balling out and, going to Uber Eats and all of that, you can put it in some of these things. I know it's not going to make much of a difference, but, that little does go a long way, because at the end of the day, we're trying to settle all of these long-term liabilities quick, We're trying to settle them like quick, fast, and in a hurry. And if you are confused by the home assistance, I didn't want to use the word black tax, but I feel like, you help out back home, not just a couple of months. Sometimes, it can happen that a year goes by and you don't help back home, but, something happens or there's an emergency. So that is why I categorized it under the specific segment, because you never know what can happen. Like I always say, life happens, so you gotta stay ready and be ready. This is also like a cute little tool that you can use as well to see how much that you actually have left over to pay. And God blesses you one day with the lotto and you can literally pay off everything, and immediately how much you have left over for every specific thing, So yeah, this part right here, I just added it as an extra because, it's also very helpful to keep track of your debts as well, because sometimes them debts be piling up and you have no idea what's going on. So this actually helps quite a lot to know and to keep track of every single debt that you have, as well as, how much you have left over to pay. So yeah, again, this is not specific for me, but it's just a couple of things that I thought of that, some people may have these type of debts going on for them. And that is it. That is the end of the video. I hope this was helpful. If you have any other questions, feel free to drop it in the comment section below. And don't forget to subscribe and like this video and share it. Share this video with everybody so that it's the last budget tips video they can ever watch in their lives. You know how we go. We're trying to make our lives better. We're trying to get it together and sort it out and be good. All right? To the next video.